The Symposium Group presents the Symposium Experience. This conference provides startup, growth, and networking strategies for the direct sales executive.
One of the most common challenges that we get into in dealing with retention strategies is that the typical feeling of a startup company is, I will worry about retention when I get my first 1,000 reps. Okay? Can you see the danger in that thinking if the forces of attrition begin at day one? I have people ask me all the time, what's the one thing that we can do to increase retention? I'm sorry to tell you that increasing retention is about hundreds of little things done right. Okay? What I'm going to share with you today is 10 things that I kind of cherry-picked. All right? These are ones that, in my opinion, have a dramatic impact on retention. Number one, deliver exceptional customer service. Delight every caller. Okay? How do you delight the person who calls in asking for an exception on a policy that you're not willing to grant? I didn't say they have to agree with you, but they can walk away from that call feeling that they were listened to, valued, appreciated. Retention tip number 2. Establish an internal culture that places the field on the pedestal. We have to teach the employees in the company, and we have to believe ourselves that they wouldn't get a paycheck if it weren't for the field doing what they're doing. We have to remind them of that. Teach your employees the lifetime value of a field rep. Teach your people that when they're on the phone and they got to decide whether to be friendly that day, that they're dealing with a $12,000 asset on the other end of the line. Okay, number 3, use an effective fast start system. Analyze the behavioral objectives for the first 24 hours, 72 hours, week, month. Let me tell you what I mean by that. A behavioral objective is what a field rep has to do in the first 24 hours to be successful. What do they have to do in the first 72 hours? What do they have to do in the first week, in the first month, et cetera, et cetera? Once you know the behavioral objectives, identify the tools, training, and incentive required to support those behavioral objectives. Build a system for delivery through touch points. Touch points would be the welcome kit, welcome calls, emails, your newsletter, special shipments, all those kind of things. Buy yourself 8 boo-boos with TLC calls. Let me tell you what that means. A new customer with a company can withstand up to 8 negative interactions with a company and still stay loyal as long as they have 1 positive interaction first. Master your field communications. I'm going to try and give you a couple of tips from each one of these. Work from an integrated communications calendar. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Take a month and put all your communication events on that calendar for the month. Every point of communication you have with the field, put on that calendar. Don't over-communicate and don't under-communicate. Make it two-way. Be sure you're making it easy. We want to make it easy for field reps to complain. The toughest things are the ones you don't know about it. You do not want to not know about complaints. Make it easy. Make sure you have systems for them to give you feedback, and use a field advisory council. Retention tip number 5, constantly convey value. Value proposition statement defines what are they really buying from us, and why are they buying it from us and not somebody else. Tip number 6, know and keep your promises, expressed and implied. Identify all the promises and then ask yourself a simple question. Are there the systems behind the promises to make sure we're keeping the promises? Number 7, reward and recognize. Most direct sellers value rewards and recognitions at least as much, if not more, than their paycheck. Make sure that it's both planned and spontaneous. The ones that are unexpected and spontaneous are more valuable. A call to a top leader from the president of the company just because you appreciate them is at least as valuable as walking them across the stage at the conference. Retention tip number 8, stay involved in field training. You have to use those advisory groups and do it with them in order to make it effective. Teach the field to recruit to retain. If we could teach people when they were recruiting to understand the goals and expectations of the person they're visiting with, and then help them achieve success as that person defines it. That's recruiting to retain. Remember, we're in the people business. I love that the legendary insert in the middle of King Arthur's Round Table, where the knights met and went about doing good and making their plans, was, in serving others, we become free. If you're looking for financial freedom, serve your field. If you're looking to retain your field members, serve your field. If you want to teach them how to be wealthy in this business, teach them to serve each other.
To learn more about the presentation you have just seen and about our upcoming events, please visit thesymposiumgroup.com.